Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the second chapter in your first module. So in first chapter, we discussed the basics of Python. So we discussed about different types of data types. We discussed about different types of variables, how to declare variables. Okay, and then we discussed about how to solve expressions, and then we discussed about the string concatenation functions. Okay, so and then we discussed about some of the basics related to your Python. So now in this second chapter, we discussed about flow control, how to execute the Python program, how your Python program will get executed step by step. Okay, which function will execute it first. If you write your program in your interactive shell, or if you're going to execute your program, okay, you can write any program, how that program will get executed. So that flow, how your Python will control, that thing we discussed in your second chapter. So now we go to the concept. First concept, flow control. First we have to know about what is flow control. Flow control statements can decide which Python instructions to execute under which condition. So I already told that flow control is nothing but here we are going to decide, your Python will decide which instructions will going to execute first, on what basis that instruction will execute. So if the instruction will execute some of set of other instruction, okay, on what basis it will execute that one first, okay, and then why it execute another instructions again, so that will decided by your flow control. So this flow control directly correspond to the symbols in a flow chart. So I hope you all know about flow chart, right? So in your first semester in C programming, okay, you all written flow charts. Okay, flow charts are nothing but symbolic or graphical representation of an algorithm. So you already know, we before going to start writing any program, first we write an algorithm, right? Algorithms and pseudocode. So pseudocodes, you already know, pseudocode is nothing but English like statements, so that we written in our own own language, or in your own ideas. For example, if you want to solve some problems, okay, that problem how you are going to solve that, solving techniques you write in your own English language, or in your English language, if you write in your own thoughts. Okay, just like English like statements, if you write that, how that program you are going to solve, that one we call as pseudocode. Next, algorithm is nothing but step by step procedure. Okay, in pseudocode we are not following any steps, but you are going to write your ideas, how we are going to solve, which one we solve first, what we have to do first, and then what we have to do next. But in algorithm, that same thing we are write it in a standard manner, that too in step by step procedure. Okay, so before start going to write a program, first we have to make a plan, just like how you are planning your trip. Okay, before going to trip you are going to plan, right? Like that we are writing a algorithm. Okay, so that draft copy, or if you plan simply, or draftly if you plan, that one is pseudocode. So exactly what you are going to do, that plan you are making, no, that one is an algorithm. Okay, what you are executing, okay, so that one is your program. Okay, now that's the step by step procedure we called as algorithm. In a standard way we are writing the step by step procedure. Okay, and then that step by step procedure, if you represented in this in the form of graphical format, okay, or a pictorial format, we called as flow chart. So that flow chart will decide, okay, if you want to write a flow chart, so in that flow chart, so which one will execute first. Okay, if that condition will, for example, if you are executing one condition, if that condition will become true, what we are going to do next. If it is false, what we are going to do next. So that one we represented is in the form of graphical form. So that one we called as flow chart. So that's flow chart. This flow control is directly corresponding to the symbols of the flow chart. So in next slide we see one flow chart with an example. So that example, it's what to do if it's raining. Okay, so we in that flow chart, so we write the conditions for what we have to do if the rain, if it's raining. Okay, for that we have to write a one flow chart. So in that, what we are going to do, so if the rain is coming, then what we have to do, if the rain will stop, next what we have to do, so that we represent it in that flow chart. So I already know uh, you know how to write the flow chart. Next I will explain. Okay, so here you see, if you want to write any flow chart, so first we have to start that flow chart by representing the start symbol. So that start symbol, so we have to represent it like this. Okay, in a oval shape, oval symbols. So we mention the start and end. Okay, start and end. And then conditions, we write it in a rhombus symbol. Okay, rhombus symbol, in rhombus symbols, so we write it conditions. Okay, so if you have any conditions, that condition we write it in a rhombus symbol. So in oval shape, we write a start and end, we represent. And then next, for loop, we are using hexagon symbols. And then for the simple statements, for statements or for writing, solving any equation or expression, we use rectangular boxes. Rectangular boxes. Okay. So and then for printing output, print output, or for accepting inputs also, we use rectangular boxes. That symbols you already know. And then we use arrows to represent. So what do for representing, what do we are going to do next. Okay, first the in flow chart, first we have to start. Okay, start. And then next we have to represent the condition. That the conditions we represented within a rhombus symbol. Okay, here the condition is what our question is. So what to do if it's raining. So here you see, is raining, question mark. Okay, yes, it's if it is raining, no, then have umbrella. Next you have to think about have umbrella. Have umbrella is also a condition. Okay, if you have umbrella, then go outside. Okay, here you see it's raining, yes, yes. And then next again we are checking another one condition. Another one condition is what? Another one condition is have umbrella. Okay, this one is also condition. So here we are checking two conditions. First, it's raining. If it is raining, yes, then next you have to check if you have umbrella. Yes, if you have umbrella, then you go outside. So it's raining, no, it's not raining. No means it's not raining, then go outside. Okay, so next, if it's raining, yes, next we are checking have umbrella. No, if you don't have umbrella, wait for a while. Okay, we have to wait for a while if it is no. Okay, so and then after waiting again we are going to check it's raining. Okay, after wait some time, some more time, and then check it's raining again. So if this condition is true, okay, it's raining, it's true, then you have to again wait. Why? Because you don't have umbrella, that's why you have to wait. Okay, and then if it is not raining, after waiting some time, if it is not raining, then go outside. Okay, and then next you end. So this one is a flow chart, simple flow chart to represent check. We are writing a flow chart for checking that it's raining or not. Okay, so like this we are writing the flow control. Here in this flow chart you can easily understand, sir, why they are using this flow chart, because of understanding how that program will flow, how that program will get executed. Here see, first it will check the first condition. Okay, so in this first condition what happens? So if it is raining, yes, then it will execute next condition. It is no, then it will skip to next condition. For yes, it will go in this direction. For no, it will go in this direction. This one is the flow control. This one we called as flow control. That's why, so here they mentioned your flow control statements directly corresponds to the symbols in a flow chart. So why we use flowchart, in the sense you can easily understand that graphical representation. The same thing if I write it in the form of algorithms or program, it will quite difficult to understand, or it will take some more time to understand. But if you represent this one in the form of a graphical format, then the user can easily understand. That's why mainly we written flowcharts. Okay, so if the user, okay, or any person, if we don't have the knowledge of programming skill also, then if you write this flowchart and then explain to him, then he can easily understand. That's why we mainly prefer graphical representation. So in your Android phones also and in your mobile phones also, so we are using graphical representation, because if you don't have the knowledge also, by seeing the pictures you can easily understand the concepts. Okay, so next, the same thing what I explained, so that they mentioned here. So in a flowchart there is usually more than one way to go from the start to the end. Okay, so in flowcharts mainly we have one or more ways to go from start to end. So here start, if you start here, if this condition is no, then you can come here and then end the program. Okay, if it is yes, then you go and check here. So there are so many ways, okay, so many ways to go from more than one way to go from start to the end. So here you see, oh, this is one way, direct way. If this condition is false, then no, then it will come and end here. If it is true, then go here. Again here, if it is true, then come here and then execute this one and then come end here. Okay, so like this we have more than one way to go from start to the end. The same is true for lines of code in a computer program. Same thing, it is true means what you are returning in flowchart, the same thing we are using in our programming also, computer programming also. Flowchart represent these branches points with a diamond shape or rhombus shape, while the other steps are represented with rectangles. So here I already told, so that condition statements, so why I am stress this word condition statements we represent in diamond or rhombus shape. Why? Because in flow control mainly we are using conditional statements. Okay, so here branching points with depth, means this conditional branching, this one we call as branching statements. So that mainly we represented in diamond shape or rhombus shape. Other things we represented using rectangle symbols. The starting and ending steps are represented rounded rectangles or oval shape. Okay, but before you learn about flowchart statement, you first need to learn how to represent these yes and no options, and you need to understand how to write these branching points as Python code. Okay, so here this one is a draft copy, means this one is a brief introduction about that branching statements or how to control the flow of program. But the same thing, if you want to write in program Python program code, next you have to learn the concepts regarding this one. So next concepts we discussed about this thing. To the end, it's explore Boolean values, comparison operators, and Boolean operators. So next, before going to study the program, or if you want to start writing your Python program regarding branching statements or these flow controls. Okay, so first we have to know about the Boolean values. What is Boolean values, comparison operators, and Boolean operators. Next, we start with Boolean values. So you already know. So till now we already discussed about the data types, three data types mainly, integer, floating point numbers, and string. But along with that, we have Boolean also. Boolean is a data type. Okay, it's not deal with numbers, it deal with conditions, and then it will have only two values, true or false. But if you are integer having plenty of numbers, okay, floating point also having plenty of numbers, and string having plenty of characters. But your Boolean having limited values, that to only two values, true and false. This one is also data type. Okay, Boolean is also data type. So next we see how to represent the data type. Okay, so here the integer, floating point, and string data type have an unlimited number of possible values, but the Boolean data have only two values, that is true or false. So that Boolean value, why they are called this Boolean value in the sense, so for that one history is there. Boolean is a capitalized because the data type is named after the mathematician George Boole. Okay, so this George Boole named these data types, that's why they call this data type as Boolean values. So when you typed as Python code, the Boolean values true and false, lack of quotes you place around the string, and they always start with a capital T or F. Okay, with the rest of the words in lower cases. So and then in Python we have one restrictions. Okay, so that restriction is or we can call it as standard way of representing this Boolean values true or false is, you have to start that true or false, that T you have to represent it in capital letter only. Okay, and the remaining letters RUE you represented in lowercase, and then for false also F you start with F, and the remaining characters you represented in lower cases. This one is the standard way of representing Boolean values in Python. So if you made or if you change the cases, means sir, I don't mention that I don't represent the T in caps, I represent T in small. So then what happens? Then that one will not a Boolean value, that one it will considered as another thing, means variable. Why? Because this one is a keyword, this one is a keyword, so that keyword you have to represent it like this only. Okay, so for Boolean values you type T in capital letter, remaining characters in small letters. For false, F in capital letter and remaining characters in small letters. So this one is a standard way of representing or representing Boolean values. So Boolean is also data type. So this Boolean will give only two outputs, two possible values, true or false. That you represented is in the form of T, and that means starting first letter in capital letter uppercase and remaining in lowercase. Okay, so listen here. This here they are showing one example. Okay, spam is equal to true. For spam, they are assigning true. So true is a value, right? True is a value. So that one is Boolean value. For integer, how you represent the numbers 10, 20, 40, 22, 23, like that. For Boolean, you are assigning only two values, true or false. Spam is equal to true. Next, if you type spam, then it will print true only. Okay, so and then next, if you and then here you see in I already told for representing true value also we form a standard syntax, it is T in caps, remaining are in small lowercase. So here next if you type TRUE all in lowercase, then you get an error. Why? Because so we are not declared this one, and this one is not a keyword. So true is equal to 2 plus 2. Okay, again you get a syntax error. Why? Because for true you can't assign any value. Why? Because true itself a value, and then this one is a keyword. Okay, this one you don't use as a standard, don't use as a variable also. Why? Because keywords are not used as variable. I already told in variables declaration. Okay, for rules to declare variables. Okay, so here see Boolean values are used in expression, can be stored in a variables. Yes, that one they mentioned here. If you don't use the proper case, if you don't use a proper case, see here you can assign. Okay, assign to an variable, and then or you try to use true or false for variable names. Okay, if you try to use true or false, second here the second option is they are trying to use the true or false for variables name. So no, we can't use. Python will give you an error message. Here you see if you try to assign values to true or false, okay, then it will give an error message. So next we see. So now you see what output we are getting when we try to execute that one in your interactive shell. So you also execute this code in your interactive shell. So now I declare one variable called Python. Python is a variable for this Python. Now assigning true. So you represent to true, T in capital letter, and then other things in small letter. So then it will assign. Next, if you print Python, what happen? Just if you print Python, then it will print true. Now I type Python. So next you see in Python what value is stored? True. True is a value. Okay. That one is Boolean value. So now I try to type true. Okay. Then you can't. True is not defined. You are not defined true. Okay. So if I type true, this true. Then what it will print? True is true. Yes. This value is also assigned. True is a value, right? That value it will be print. Okay. So next you try to assign values for true is equal to 2 plus 2. Can it accept? Yes, it accept. Why? Because this true is not a keyword. This true is not a Boolean value. But this true is a Boolean value. If you type capital T, then this one is a Boolean value. So then it show an error, can't assign value to a keyword. Okay, I hope you understand. Same thing for false also. So next, comparison operators. So comparison operators are relational operators. Okay, so relational operator you already studied, right? In your C programming, different types of operators. First one is arithmetic operator. That arithmetic operator we discussed in last chapter for solving our expression. Okay, so next we have comparison operators. Comparison means that's the operators they use to compare two values. Why we are discussing this comparison operator? Since these comparison operators are give output in the form of true or false Boolean values. They are not giving output in the form of numeric values. They are giving values in the form of true or false. That one is single Boolean, any one single Boolean values. Okay, comparison operator compare two values and evaluate down into single Boolean value. So these operators mainly used we are going to use in writing a conditions that we see next. You already know if and else. So again, I am explaining. Okay, so there are operators here. The comparison operators are double equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, and then less than or equal to, or and greater than or equal to. These are the comparison or relational operator. So they give output in the form of single boolean value. So mainly this one is used to compare two operators, or sorry, compare two values. 2 equal to 2, yes, it will give true. 2 equal to 1, it will give false. Okay, these comparison operators mainly give output in the form of boolean value. See here, the operators evaluate true or false depending on the values you give them. Okay, here you have some example. You type this example and then see what output you are getting in your interactive shell. So you type this one in your computer and then see the outputs. 42 equal to 42, as it will give true. These true false are what? These boolean outputs. 40 equal to 99, false. 2 not equal to 3, true. 2 not equal to 2, false. Why? Because 2 equal to 2. So as you might expect, double equal to evaluates true when values of both sides are equal. Okay, here they are explained. So how this one will be evaluated. So not equal to evaluates the true when the two values are different. The equal to and not equal to are actually work with the values of any data type. Okay, here you see, here this equal to and not equal to, they are working for any data type, in the sense it will working for boolean, integer, and as well as string. Okay, but greater than and less than, okay, greater than or less than are not solving the string values. Only they will compare boolean and integer. But equal to and not equal to, can use to solve or compare two string values also. Here you see, hello equal to hello. So here if you take string, if you are comparing to string, here it will check the number of characters, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, this number of characters are equal, then it will print true. Okay, so here you see, uh, that character values also it will check. I hope you already know. So if you store string values in a computer memory, it will store that string value or characters in what format, or in which format it will store that one. It will store in numeric values only, that to ASCII values. It will store that characters based on the ASCII values. For capital A, that ASCII value is different. For small a, ASCII value is different. Okay, I hope you already know that one. So that's why here you see, in first example, hello hello. Okay, here also 1 2 3 4 5 characters, here also 1 2 3 4 5 characters, and then characters numbers also same number of characters, character positions also same characters we are using here. That's why it will print true. But here you see, hello equal to hello, here h capital, that's why it's false. For ASCII value for capital H is different and small h is different. ASCII value for capital letters will start from 65, but for small letter it will start from 97. So that's why it will print false. Don't get confused. Why? Because here that equal to and not equal to compare based on the ASCII values of that character, string characters. So and then dog not equal to cat. Okay, dog not equal to cat. Yes, true. Dog not equal to dog, then it's false. Why? Because dog equal to false. But here three characters, here also three characters. But D having more value compared to this C. Okay, and then true not equal to false. True. Okay, they are different, but number of characters are number of our characters also different, and then they having different characters. Here you see 42 equal to 42 as string we can, sorry, integer we can compare with floating point. Integer we are comparing with floating point. 42 equal to 42, true. But if you compare or if you check the equality of two, one integer and string, then it will showing false. Okay, we can't compare the equal to. Okay, yeah. Okay, note that an integer or floating value will always be unequal to the string value. Okay, here that in that example, integer and string or floating, integer floating will not equal to the string value. Okay, so here the expression 42 equal to 42, in this expression evaluates to false because Python considered integer 42 to be different from the string 42. That's why it will print, it evaluates false value. So the greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to operators on the other end work properly only to the integer and floating point values. I already told. So this one will work properly only to the integer and floating, not for string. Okay, only equal to and not equal to, that one is used to compare string values. You can't combine string or integer. Okay, then it will not check. Only if you are comparing string, then that equal to and not equal to will work. And then remaining greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, the operators, they work properly only to the integer and floating point. 42 less than 100 as true, 42 greater than 100 false, 42 greater than 42 less than 42 false. Why? Because 42 equal to 42. That's why egg count is equal to 42. Egg less than or equal to 42 as true. Egg count. Now in egg count first we store 42. So in egg count what value is stored in this variable 42. So 42 less than or equal to 42 as less than equal to 42. Okay. My age is 29. 29 greater than or equal to 10 as true. Okay. So and then next here you see difference between the double equal to and single equal to. Double equal to is used it as a condition or comparison operator, comparational operator or relational operator. Single equal to is assignment operator. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, you might have noticed that double equal to operator is equal to operator as two equal signs, while single operator is assignment operator, just one equal sign. It is easy to confuse these two operators with each other. Just remember these points. Because so you will get confused. That's why we are making a note of this one first. First, the double equal to operator asks whether two values are same or each other, but single equal to operator puts the value on the right into the variable to the left. Assignment operator, what it will do? Right side value, it will assign to the left variable. Okay, to help remember which is which, notice that double equal to consists of two characters, just like the not equal to operator consists of two operators. Means assignment operator having variable and value, but double equal to or not equal to contains two values. So if you have two values, then you have to write double equal to. If you want to assign some value, if you want to store some value to the variable, then you are using assignment single equal to operator. You will be often use comparison operators to compare a variable value to some other value, like count less than or equal to 42 and my age greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so these are all the examples. So what I explained last slide, that same thing here also. So after all this, instead of typing dog not equal to cat in your code, you could have just type true. Okay, so now you understand that why dog are not equal to cat, because number of characters are same, but the positions of ASCII values are different. So for D, different ASCII value, and then for C, a different ASCII value. I think for C, 99 ASCII value is 99, 97 is for small a, 98 B, 99, 100 for D. So here the difference. That's why not equal to cat, as it's true. Okay, so next, Boolean operators. So in Boolean, we have mainly three operators. Only for Boolean, what we discussed last, that is Boolean values. True and false are Boolean values, but for Boolean also, we have operators. That operators are and, or, and not. Okay, in your logic design, you already studied AND gate, OR gate, and NOT gate in your electronics, and as well as in your ADE, analog and digital electronics also you are studied. Okay, so that same and or NOT gate here also we are using for Boolean operations. So that those are the operators. The three Boolean operators are and, or, and not are used to compare Boolean values. For comparing Boolean values, we are using these Boolean operators. The three main Boolean operators we are using here in your Python programming is and, or, and not. Like comparison operators, they evaluate this expression down into a Boolean value. Just like comparison operator, so they evaluate that one, that this Boolean operators evaluate into Boolean value. So these Boolean operators are binary. Why? Because they accept two values. So in operators, we have three types, right? Unary, binary, and tertiary. So in unary, the operators, if you want to solve any operator, that operator contain only one value. So that one is plus plus a, increment, decrement operator. Okay, that one is we call as unary. One operator, one value. Binary operators means that contains two values and one operator. Your arithmetic, comparison operators, okay, relational operators, these are all binary operator. Why? Because it having two values. If you just mention one value, it will not going to solve, you get an error. Okay, so for addition, 10 plus, if you just mention 10 plus, it will work? No, it will not work. Why? Because addition is binary operator, it needs two value. If you want to solve, or if you want to use that operator, it needs two values. Okay, 10 plus 2, okay, if you mention, then only it will get executed. So like that, Boolean operators are also binary. So and the and or operators always take two Boolean values. Okay, so they are considered as binary operators. So the operators which can need two values to execute or to solve the expression. Okay, so that type of operators we call as binary. Your Boolean operators also binary. It needs two values. The AND operator evaluates the expression to true if both Boolean values are true. So you know the AND condition, right? If both the values are true, then only the output is true. If any one condition is false, then the output is false. The same thing. AND operator evaluates an expression to true if both Boolean values are true. If both the values are true, then the output is true. If any one value is false, then the output is false. Otherwise, it evaluates to false. Enter some expression using okay, so this expression you enter into your interactive cell and then see the output true and true, true. So here the operator is and. You have to write and only. Don't mention double ampersand symbol. In your C programming you mentioned what double ampersand symbol for and for our double bar symbol, but here you have to mention and only, no lower case. Okay, this one is also keyword and or and not. True and true, true. True and false, false. So here you see the table. In the table expression is true and true. What output it will give? True. True and false, false. False and true, false. False and false, false. If both the conditions are true, then the output is true in AND. Okay. And then reverse. Reverse of AND is OR. If any one condition is true, then the output is true. Okay. If any one condition is true, then the output is true in OR. The OR evaluates an expression to true if either of the two values is true. If any one true value, either of two values, if anyone is true, then the output is true. If both are false, it evaluates to false. In OR, if both are false, then only it will evaluates to false. Okay, false or true, true. False or false, false. Okay, so next the NOT operator. NOT operator is reverse of the existing value. If you mention true, then it will print false. For false, true. NOT operator operates on only one Boolean value. So this one we also called as unary operator. Why? Because operator along with only one value. So not operator operates only with one Boolean value. Not operator simply avoids the opposite of Boolean value. Opposite to the existing value. If you mention not true, false. Not false, true. Okay. So and then not true. Then it will print true. Not four nots. So here the nesting of nots. Much like using double negatives in speech and writing, you can nest the not operators. So it's never not no reason to do this in a real program below. Okay, so here actually the table is missing. Okay, so here you see, so just like you mentioned minus what plus, right? In your solving your mathematical operations, like that here also you can nesting that not. Okay, it will again just like minus negative values. So here also evaluates and then it will print the value. But mainly we are not using this one. So just for your understanding purpose, we are mentioning. Okay, mainly not will give the output of reverse of an existing value. If you mention true, not true, false, not false, true. So try to execute these things, represent these things in your interactive shell, and then see the outputs. Okay, next is mixing of Boolean and comparison operator. So next, for solving an expression, if you want to write any expression, so we have to mix the Boolean and as well as the comparison operators. So if you mix these two, then we create an expression, okay, and then solve those expression. The comparison operators evaluates to Boolean. We already know comparison operators always evaluates into Boolean. Okay, so first if you mix the Boolean and as well as comparison operator, first you have to solve the comparison operators. Why? Because that comparison will give the Boolean values as an output. Next, for Boolean operators, it needs what? It needs Boolean values as an input. Okay, you get a Boolean values and then it will solve. Okay, so the and or operators are called Boolean operator because they always operate to Boolean values true and false. While expression like 4 less than 5 are not Boolean values, they are expression that evaluates down into Boolean values. So here you see, if you take an expression like this, 4 less than 5, but this one is not a Boolean value, a Boolean operator. It will not solve the Boolean operators. It will give Boolean values as an output. Okay, that values you are using for an input for the Boolean operators. So here, enter the. These are some of the examples. So first you see in this example 4 less than 5 and 5 less than 6. So here these two are comparison operator. Here we are mixing both comparison less than comparison, and then and is what Boolean operator. Here first we have to solve the comparison operators. 4 less than 5 condition false, right? 4 is not sorry 4 less than 5, yes, condition true. 4 less than 5, okay, and 5 less than 6, yes, condition true. Now we get the Boolean values as an output, okay. So 4 true and true output we get, so then it will print what? True, okay. So here if you compare both, or if you are using both uh, if you are using if you are using both comparison and Boolean operator. Oh, sorry, power problem. So in next video, I explain this slide. Okay, okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. So thank you. So in next video, I explain that same concept.